In this video, we're going to discuss center ball training and how it can absolutely transform your game faster than any other type of training. We're going to go through several drills you can perform, and then we'll go through 15 different center ball patterns, breaking down each shot. And along the way, we'll be learning several principles of position play that will absolutely help elevate your understanding of cue ball control. We're also going to go through a few patterns with Ming Eng. Ming is a professional player who just won the Texas Open. She recently stopped by for center ball training and full table training with side spin. So if you're ready, let's get started. Center ball training is being taught in billiard academies around the world, specifically in China, where more and more world champions are being created. It's one of the reasons I started the 14 Days experiment several years ago. I wanted to bring this type of training to as many players as possible. And when it comes to taking your game to that next level, nothing will get you there quicker than center ball training. And just by going through several of the drills in this video, you're going to see an improvement in how you move the cue ball around the table. For instance, in the Northwest, I worked with a young woman named Juliana who wanted to reach a high level in pool, but had never received any pool lessons and wasn't familiar with center ball training. Her biggest issues were fundamentals, cue ball control, and ball pocketing. But before we began the center ball training, we first had her perform 2,000 stroke drills to strengthen her fundamentals and straighten her stroke. Once we finished the stroke drill, we then moved on to center ball training. She averaged 8 to 10 hours per day of training. Her ability to roll and stun the cue ball had improved to the point that by the second week, she was able to run several patterns. She had much better control over her cue ball and her cue ball speed. And just 2 weeks after training, she won a Masters tournament. When I work with students who have gone through center ball training, we then move on to side spin training and full table pattern play. By completing center ball training, they now have a solid foundation to build a complete positional game. When we talk about center ball training, we're talking about working on these different parts of the game. Everything from finding center in the cue ball to drills for maximum draw and maximum follow. The first drill would be finding center on the cue ball. If the student doesn't know where true center is on the cue ball, they may struggle when it comes to ball pocketing and cue ball control. Next, the student goes through a series of drills for rolling shots. Learning where the cue ball is going off an object ball with a rolling cue ball is a major part of position play. Next, we have several stun drills that cover stop shots, sliding cue ball shots off the tangent line, stun draw, and stun follow. These drills are tough, but the benefits are enormous. Next, we have several drills that cover maximum high. This is an extremely important part of the center ball training, and I have a whole video dedicated to maximum high on YouTube. I'll put a link to it in the description. Next, we have drills and patterns for maximum low. Maximum low is all about learning how to hit the sweet spot on the cue ball. On the 0x website, we have several videos covering center ball training that will help get you to that next level. But you don't have to use our drills. You can create your own drills just by following along in this video. We also recommend finding a local pool coach that specializes in center ball training. As with all students of the 14 Days experiment, before we begin any center ball drills, we spend 15 to 20 hours working on a stroke drill. This is a great drill for straightening your stroke since a student has to keep their cue above the stroke line for up to 2,000 times. To learn more about this, I'll put a link in the description. So once I feel the students' fundamentals have improved, we then move on to center ball training. When working with students, we first make sure they know where center is before we begin any drills. One drill that we use is to place the 9-ball and object ball fairly close to each other. We'll then make sure number 9 is at the very top. Now we'll strike the center of the 9-ball using a firm stroke. If we strike center, there should be minimal cue ball movement. The number 9 should still be at the top of the ball. If the 9-ball is coming back a little bit, that means we're striking just below center. If the cue ball is rolling forward, then we're striking above center. Also, make sure the 9-ball isn't spinning after striking the object ball. If it is, that means your tip is just left or right of center, depending on which way the ball is spinning. When we talk about stun shots, we're talking about controlling the amount of roll or low spin on the cue ball, if any, by the time it strikes the object ball. This is what allows players to play a stop shot from different distances. From this distance, I need just enough low spin to last until this point here. Then, before the cue ball begins to roll forward, there will be a brief moment where it is sliding. It is at this moment that we need the cue ball to strike the object ball full in order to stop the cue ball. Now from this distance, in order to stop the cue ball, the low spin has to last all the way to this area before it begins to slide. This means I'll need to use a firm speed along with striking very low on the cue ball. By the time the cue ball gets here, the low spin is completely gone. Now, before it starts rolling forward, there will be a brief moment when the cue ball is sliding, so that's when we need it to strike the object ball. And if it strikes the object ball full, the cue ball should come to a complete stop. Here's a similar shot, except this time the cue ball won't be striking the object ball full. When I shoot this shot, just like the previous stop shot, I'm going to use enough low spin to last all the way to this point. Now, when the cue ball strikes the object ball, it should be sliding, which will send it along a 90-degree path. On this shot, I'm going to pocket the 4-ball and send the cue ball around the 9-ball. If the cue ball is sliding when it strikes the object ball, it's going to travel at a 90-degree angle around the 9-ball. Now if the 9-ball is here, I can make sure that when the cue ball strikes the object ball, it has some low spin on it, which will send it farther down the rail. A cue ball that is rolling when it strikes the object ball will be sent in this direction. Now in order to send the cue ball around the 9-ball, we have to make sure both speed and where we strike the cue ball are in sync. So if I strike the cue ball in the same spot but increase my speed, now there is much more low spin on the cue ball, which results in a dramatically different cue ball path. As your center game improves, you won't worry as much about scratching on shots. For example, on this shot, a sliding cue ball heads toward this spot on the side rail. If the cue ball has a small amount of roll on it by the time it strikes the 9-ball, it may head toward the corner pocket. But if the cue ball has a lot of roll on it by the time it strikes the 9-ball, then it's going to head toward the end rail. A cue ball that has low spin on it by the time it strikes the 9-ball will strike well above the corner pocket. On this shot, the sliding cue ball path heads in this direction toward the side pocket. So I can use a rolling cue ball to send the cue ball here, or if the cue ball has low spin on it by the time it strikes the object ball, it will head in this direction. Or on shots like this, if he knows where a sliding cue ball will go, he now knows that he can use this sliding cue ball path with left spin. So when the cue ball strikes the cushion, the left spin will send the cue ball around the 5-ball and to the end rail for shape on the 4-ball. And through proper center ball training, he not only will know where the sliding cue ball path will go, but he's going to have the skills needed to properly execute the shot. Or as in this shot where the sliding cue ball path heads toward an object ball. Now he can simply alter the cue ball path with low spin. And at the same time he can use right spin to send the cue ball 2 rails toward the top side rail. Stun shots are all about feel, since speed and where you strike the cue ball have to be in sync. And feel is a result of repetition. So when working with students, we shoot shots like this over and over again so they can develop a feel for speed and where they need to strike the cue ball. Now we're going to go through a few stun drills. Just spending a little practice time every week working on these drills will really sharpen your cue ball control and speed. For each of these drills, I'm going to show you where I'm striking the cue ball. But remember that stun shots are speed sensitive. So if you're striking the cue ball in the same location, but you're getting a different cue ball path, that just means you need to adjust your speed. In this first drill, we're going to pocket the object ball and send the cue ball around the second ball. We're going to try to keep the cue ball within 2 diamonds of the end rail. This shot requires a sliding cue ball. As with all the drills I'm going to show you, we won't be using side spin. As you improve, try to keep the cue ball within 1.5 diamonds of the end rail. Try to land near the second ball's pocket line. The goal is to have a nice shot on the second ball. And when you first attempt a shot, your cue ball may go too far. If this happens, try cutting your speed in half. And this leads to our next principle of stun shots. When performing stun shots, as a general rule, as your speed decreases, you're going to be hitting lower on the cue ball. So if you're hitting softer on the cue ball, but your cue ball is striking the second ball or traveling in this direction, then you'll need to strike much lower on the cue ball. If you're striking the cue ball with maximum low and you're still striking the second ball, then start increasing your speed. As you improve, start moving the cue ball farther away. When I work with students, it usually takes them a little while to develop a feel for this shot. Try to perform at least 3 successful shots in a row from each cue ball location. Eventually, you should be able to execute this shot 10 times in a row from each cue ball location. If you're struggling with this shot, then move the second ball to the end rail and just practice drawing the cue ball off the end rail for position. Start with the second ball here until you have the shot down, then move the ball to this location. Once you get the shot down, go back to the original drill. In this drill, we'll be pocketing the object ball and sliding the cue ball over to the other side rail for shape on the 8 ball. We can see that the sliding cue ball line heads in this direction. So when the cue ball strikes the object ball, it needs a little low spin to pull it back, sending it toward the 3rd diamond. As with all stun shots, lock in your speed first and then determine where you need to strike on the cue ball. As you improve at this drill, move the cue ball farther away. This is a great shot once you have it down. It allows you to put that cue ball in some very tight areas. Also, try moving the 8 ball to different locations. For instance, in this shot, you'll need to strike the cue ball a little above center to force it toward the target area. This shot is similar to shot 1. In this shot, we're going to stun the cue ball around the second ball for position. The goal is to end up with a nice shot on the second ball. You'll be keeping the cue ball within this area for position. Keep moving the cue ball farther away as you improve at this shot. Next, move the second ball to the next location. This time you'll be keeping the cue ball within this area. Keep an eye on the cue ball when performing the shot to make sure you're not putting accidental side spin on the cue ball. Finally, move the second ball to the final location. You'll be keeping the cue ball within this area for position. In this shot, we're going to try to land the cue ball on or very close to the target area. The goal is to get position on the 8 ball. Challenge yourself to shoot this shot 3 times in a row successfully before moving the cue ball to the next location. With some players, it may take quite a few shots before they have 3 good shots in a row, and it may not even happen during their first training session. But if you practice this shot at least for 10 minutes each time you train, it won't be long before you're executing this shot consistently from each cue ball location. When this happens, you'll start to notice an improvement in your cue ball control when playing in tournaments and leagues. This shot is an excellent example of really locking in on your cue ball speed. In this drill, we're going to be sending the cue ball off the side rail and into our position area. the cue ball should be striking between the second and third diamond of the side rail. On this shot, really focus on locking in on what speed you're going to need. Then make note of the cue ball's path. If the cue ball is striking near the side pocket, you need to strike slightly lower on the cue ball. And if the cue ball is striking too low on the rail, then aim slightly higher. And remember, your speed and where you strike the cue ball have to be in sync. So when you change where you strike the cue ball, keep the speed consistent from shot to shot, so you can really lock in on where you need to strike the cue ball. As you improve in this shot, start moving the cue ball farther away. This is another powerful shot that makes it easy to move the cue ball from one end of the table to another. In this shot, we're going to stun the cue ball toward the 8-ball. This is a shot that comes up quite often in both 8-ball and 9-ball, where the tangent line of the object ball will send the cue ball toward the next ball. Being able to recognize when this happens, along with executing the shot correctly, will take your positional game to a new level. As you improve with this shot, start moving the cue ball farther back. If you can land on the target, that is excellent, but keeping the cue ball on the path toward the 8-ball is still very good. In this drill, we're going to pocket the object ball and play shape for the 8-ball in the bottom right corner pocket. We're going to start with the cue ball fairly close to the object ball, and then as we improve in this drill, we'll start moving the cue ball farther away. And this leads to our next principle of stun shots. The farther away you are from the object ball, the more accurate your speed is going to have to be. So if you're in a game and you have ball in hand, and if you're going to play a stun shot, you'll want the cue ball fairly close to the object ball, about this distance here. Let's say you're going to play a stop shot with ball in hand. Start with putting the cue ball fairly close to the object ball and shoot center on the cue ball. At this distance, as long as you shoot center, your cue ball will stop regardless of your speed. As opposed to being farther away, where now the shot becomes much more speed sensitive. Letting up on your speed even a little bit from this distance will result in the cue ball rolling forward. As you progress through this drill, try moving the 8-ball to different locations. Now the cue ball is further down the rail, so the cue ball needs a small amount of roll on it when it strikes the object ball. Even though the cue ball needs to be rolling when it strikes the object ball, we're still going to be striking below center and controlling the cue ball's roll using speed. On this shot, a rolling cue ball heads in this direction. So if a player had a play position here, all they would have to do is play a nice rolling shot and they would have their position. But if the player thinks a rolling cue ball is going to travel in this direction, then they may use right spin when pocketing the object ball, which will send the cue ball away from their position area. Set up your own shots like this and mark the cushion on the second rail with a piece of chalk where you think the cue ball will hit. Then shoot the shot and see how close you are to hitting this mark. Developing a feel for where a rolling cue ball is going to track is important once we move on to side spin training. So if we look at this shot, I can use just a touch of left spin and send the cue ball here. Or just by using a touch of right spin, I can send the cue ball here. My cue ball control is more precise using side spin, since everything is now based off an accurate rolling cue ball path. One thing to remember about rolling shots is that when the object ball is close to the cushion, as in this example, an angle like this will send the cue ball to the other rail near the same area. As the angle starts to flatten, now the cue ball will be sent below this area on the other rail. And at this angle, the cue ball will track here between the first diamond and corner pocket. So if this was your shot in an 8-ball game, right away you know that if you pocket the 3-ball, the cue ball will strike the other rail in the same area. In this 8-ball game, if we can pocket the 2-ball, we know that the cue ball will track toward the other end rail near the same area. Knowing where rolling angles will take the cue ball is vital before the student can begin their side spin training. In this game of 8 ball, we're on the 3 ball. We need to play an angle on the 4 ball that will take the cue ball to the other side rail for position on the 8 ball. If we end up here at this angle, we know that the cue ball will probably be sent in this direction after pocketing the 4 ball. So at this angle, a player would have to use right spin to send it toward the target area. What we're looking for is a natural angle that doesn't require side spin. Then if we don't get our exact position, we can use side spin to get on the 8 ball. And side spin training is all about knowing exactly how much side spin you need to send the cue ball half a diamond, or 2 diamonds away from the natural rolling path. But a side spin shot like this has to be based off the proper natural rolling path of the cue ball. There are many players who play general areas knowing that they can use side spin to get back in line, but this way of playing is making the game harder than it needs to be. On this shot, we're going to first find our natural angle and try to land near this target. At this angle, we should be able to pocket the 4 ball and the cue ball should naturally float toward our position area. When working with students, we have them throw balls out on the table and just set up various rolling shots. The goal of each shot is to predict the path the cue ball will take off the object ball. You can use a piece of paper to indicate the path you think the cue ball will take. And the target only represents the path of the cue ball, so you don't have to land the cue ball on this target. Later though, as you improve at this drill, you can try to land the cue ball onto this target. When you're standing, place the target on the table, and then when you're examining the shot, you may have to adjust the target location. Don't shoot the shot until you're satisfied with where the target is. If you shoot a shot and your cue ball path isn't close to where you place the target, then set the shot up and shoot it over and over again to develop a feel for this type of angle and where it's taking the cue ball. Center ball training is about learning how to control the cue ball off the object ball and send it along a predetermined path. Side spin training is about learning how to control the cue ball with side spin once it strikes a cushion. So when you combine center ball training along with side spin training, you'll develop the skills needed to put that cue ball anywhere you want. We're going to place the ball in the jaws of the corner pocket and create 2 rows of balls extending from the pocket. The goal is to pocket the object ball and draw the cue ball back between the first 2 balls, which in this case is the 1 and 9 ball. The goal is to get any part of the cue ball into this area here. As you perform this drill, you want to avoid striking the balls on either side. Keep going until you can successfully draw the cue ball back 3 times in a row. Now try to draw the cue ball back to this area between the 2 and 10 ball. Once again, see if you can perform this successfully 3 times in a row. Once you complete this shot 3 times in a row, change your target area to the next 2 balls, the 3 and 11. Keep working your way up the row of balls until you get to the last row. Next, move the cue ball farther away. Once again, try to draw the cue ball between the first 2 balls 3 times in a row. After you work your way through the drill from this cue ball location, move the cue ball to here. At this distance, this drill becomes extremely difficult. You really need to take your time since a slight error in aim can cause the cue ball to go off course. Recently, Ming Eng stopped by for 3 days of training. Ming is a professional pool player who just won the Texas Open. While she was here, we put in almost 40 hours of training in 3 days. Ming informed me that her first coach taught her center ball training back in the 1990s before she joined the women's tour. Although her center ball game was very good, she still had a few issues that we had to correct. But the main issues were full table pattern play with side spin, which we'll take a look at in a later video. But for now, let's examine a few of her half table patterns. The rules for half table pattern play are fairly simple. You can pocket the balls in all 6 pockets, but the cue ball can't cross half table. You also have to shoot the balls in order and call the pocket for each ball before you begin the run. And there is no side spin allowed. In order to be successful at half table pattern play, you need good table management along with very good speed control. When you play half table pattern play, just grab 5 random balls and throw them out on one half of the table anywhere you want. Let's examine this pattern from Ming's training. Here are the pockets she has chosen for each ball. And remember, she has to shoot the balls in order. Since it may be difficult to land here with the cue ball, she chose to pocket the 3 ball in the top left corner pocket. When she shoots the 1 ball, she needs to land close to the 3 ball pocket line, since she's playing the 7 in the bottom side pocket. When she plays position on the 3 ball, she's not going to roll into her position area, since she won't have her position until the very end of the cue ball path. Instead, she's going to send the cue ball off the end rail and toward the 3 ball. This opens up her position window for the 3 ball. She ended up with a little more angle than she would have liked. Now she's going to have to perform a kill shot on the 3 ball using maximum low and a soft speed. She ended up below the 7 ball pocket line. So now she's going to have to perform a power draw shot, sending the cue ball off the side rail and back out, landing on or across the 14 ball pocket line. Here she's landed on the pocket line, so she's just going to roll forward and take a longer shot on the 15 ball. When she shoots this, she needs to keep the cue ball from crossing half table. Removing side spin and the other half of the table takes away a player's safety net, so their speed control and angles have to be right on. With half table pattern play, you'll sometimes get fairly easy patterns, along with very difficult patterns. It's important that you still focus when you get a run out that looks fairly easy, since it doesn't take too much to create an awkward angle, jeopardizing the run out. Here are the pockets she chose for each ball. When choosing side pockets in half table pattern play, you really need to be aware of the pocket line, since your cue ball can't cross half table, and you can't change your pocket once you start your run out. So if Ming shot the 10 ball and landed here, her run would probably be over. When she plays the 8 ball, she needs to make sure she creates a natural rolling shot on the 10 ball that will take the cue ball across the 13 ball pocket line. So an angle like this on the 10 ball wouldn't be a natural angle. At this angle, since we're hitting a lot more of the 10 ball, we're going to need to use a firm stroke to move the cue ball off the side rail and toward our target area. At this angle, she can softly roll in the 10 ball and the cue ball should track toward her target area. Since she has to play the 15 in the side pocket, when she shoots a 14 ball, she needs to land on or very close to the 15 ball pocket line. Here she ended up a little short of the pocket line. Now she has to pocket the 15 ball with a very soft stroke to keep the cue ball from crossing half table. In this pattern, here are the pockets Ming chose for each ball. The key shot here is landing on or close to the 6 ball pocket line, since she needs to shoot the 14 ball in the top left corner pocket. When she shoots the 2 ball, she wants to create an angle in the 3 ball, so she can send the cue ball closer to the 5 ball. So she ended up here on the 5. At this angle, she'll have to shoot softly to hold the cue ball for the 6 ball. When she shot the 5 ball, she went a bit too far, so now she's going to have to softly roll in the 6 ball and take a tough cut shot on the 14 ball. Half table pattern play is tough, especially when you get up to 4, 5, and 6 balls. Getting out of line even a little bit makes it very difficult since you can't use side spin and the other half of the table to get back in line. I'll set up a half table pattern with 3 balls, and I recommend starting with 3 balls until you get the hang of it. Here are the pockets I've chosen for each ball. So when I play position for the 2 ball, I'll need to land on or just short of the 2 ball pocket line. If I end up too short of the pocket line, I may have to start the run over. Remember, you can't use side spin to get back in line, and you also aren't allowed to change the pockets for the balls once you begin the run. Playing half table pattern play really gets you thinking about angles and cue ball speed. This is a great training drill for those players who tend to play large general areas for their cue ball position. If you practice half table pattern play, there are a few things you need to keep in mind. Recently, when working with a student, we came across this pattern when practicing half table pattern play. The student's first instinct was to pocket the 1 ball and roll forward, landing here, so we can send the cue ball to the side rail for shaping the 3 ball. But if we examine the position window he would have to land in for the 2 ball to send the cue ball to the side rail, it's not very large. Ending up an inch too far or an inch too short will make it very difficult to get his position for the 3 ball. So his speed control would have to be extremely precise. Before beginning your runout, always examine the position window you need to land in. Try to give yourself a couple different options for playing position. The better option here would be to change the pocket of the 3 ball to the bottom left corner pocket. Now he can pocket the 1 ball and roll forward a few inches, which gives him a natural angle on the 2 ball to roll it in and send the cue ball off the end rail and toward the 3 ball. Try to choose patterns that minimize cue ball movement. In this pattern, we can choose to pocket the 2 ball in the bottom side pocket by landing on or near the pocket line. The danger in playing the pattern this way is that ending up a little short will end your run since the cue ball can't cross half table. And going a bit too far makes position on the 3 ball extremely difficult. So playing position for the 2 in the side pocket means your speed control would have to be very precise. A slightly better option is to pocket the 1 ball and draw back a few inches. Since we're not traveling too far with the cue ball, we have a very good chance of getting our position on the 2 ball. As you work your way through patterns, be aware of which side of pocket lines you should favor. For instance, landing below the 4 ball pocket line still leaves me in good position to pocket the 4 and play the 5 in the bottom right corner pocket. The danger area would be on this side of the pocket line, which would require much more work to get back in line. So let's begin the full table patterns. When going through each pattern, the goal is to run out 3 times in a row. I've chosen a specific run out for each pattern that will really test your center ball game. These are the same types of patterns that my students go through, and I guarantee you that nothing will improve your game quicker than building a strong center ball game. So I'll first show you the pattern along with what pockets each ball is going into. As I shoot each shot, I'm going to show you where I'm striking the cue ball, along with any principle of position play that may come up. Here is a run out, and here are the pockets each ball will go into. This is an extremely difficult run out. If you can run this pattern out 2 or 3 times in a row, that is excellent. In this run out, we need to create an angle on the 2 ball that will send the cue ball across the 3 ball pocket line. And when we shoot the 3 ball, the goal is to send the cue ball off the side rail between the 4 ball and side pocket for our position. Find your ideal angle on the 2 ball and try to send the cue ball to this area off the side rail. This type of shot where we're using maximum high to send the cue ball to a target on a rail is an extremely important part of center ball training. It's important that students not only can consistently strike maximum high, but that they also know what angle to use on the object ball to send the cue ball toward their target. Once they develop a feel for this type of shot, then in a real game situation, they are going to have a better feel for where their cue ball is going. For instance, in this game of 10 ball, my opponent left me here on the 2 ball, and my next ball, the 3 ball, is over here. If I use maximum high, I know that the cue ball will travel in this direction toward the side rail. Since I know where maximum high will go, I now know that I can strike about a tip lower on the cue ball, which will send the cue ball higher up on the side rail for my position on the 3 ball. Whereas in this 8 ball game, I was left here on the 3 ball, and the 8 ball is over here. Maximum high will send the cue ball in this direction. So if I can strike a little lower in the cue ball, it now becomes a stun follow shot, which changes the cue ball path, sending it in the proper direction. In this game of 9 ball, I was left here on the 5 ball, and I need to get shape for the 6 ball. And players who don't have the proper center ball training may think that the cue ball will head toward the 8 ball or 6 ball. But players who are familiar with maximum high and where angles will take the cue ball will know right away that the cue ball will bypass the 6 ball and come off the end rail for position. So on the 1 ball shot, you first pick out your cue ball target, then try to determine what spot on the side rail will send the cue ball toward the target. When shooting the 2 ball, you really need to visualize the target area for the cue ball. Take several practice strokes while standing to try to create the speed you'll need for this shot. On this 3 ball shot, we can see that the sliding cue ball path heads toward the side rail between the side pocket and 3rd diamond. So if you run this pattern 3 times in a row, you'll undoubtedly end up at various angles on the 3 ball, which means you'll have to learn how to slide the cue ball off the 3 ball from different angles and distances. For instance, at this angle, we're going to need maximum low to pocket the 3 and send the cue ball off the side rail. And the reason for maximum low on this shot is due to how softly we'll have to strike the 3 ball due to the angle. At a soft speed, the low spin should be gone by the time the cue ball strikes the 3 ball, sending the cue ball along the sliding cue ball path. At this angle, we're going to be using a firm speed and shooting just below center. When you shoot the 3 ball, your cue ball isn't allowed to cross the 2nd diamond line. Here is a run out, and here are the pockets each ball will go into. The key shot here is landing on the correct side of the 2 ball pocket line, so we can stun the cue ball over to the side rail for shape on the 3 ball. On this first shot, we'll be using maximum high to send the cue ball to the side rail and toward the 2 ball at the correct angle. As a general rule, when sending a cue ball to a rail like this, you're going to want to use maximum high. Striking the cue ball at maximum high helps propel the cue ball to the cushion and back out. And once you get the hang of it, striking at maximum high gives you a nice consistent action on the cue ball. If you strike this shot below maximum high, you may end up with a dead cue ball, which doesn't have quite the same energy. This way of playing position opens up your position window on the 2 ball, as opposed to traveling this way where you won't have your position until the very end of the cue ball path. When playing position for the 3 ball, we have to be aware of which side of the pocket line is the danger area. In this pattern, we're not allowed to send the cue ball off either end rail when playing shape for the 4 ball. Ending up too short of the pocket line will probably end the run. The goal is to land on the pocket line or just across the pocket line so we can roll forward for position on the 4 ball. Here is a run out, and here are the pockets each ball will go into. In this pattern, when we pocket the 3 ball, we have to land in this area for shaping the 4 ball. Also, when we shoot the 3 ball, the cue ball isn't allowed to go off the end rail or other side rail. So when we pocket the 1 ball, if we can create a high angle around here on the 2 ball, we can send the cue ball off the end rail and toward the middle of the table. If we end up with too high an angle, we can use a low stun shot to send the cue ball off the end rail and side rail for shaping the 3 ball. Now that we know where we need to be for the 2 ball, let's examine the 1 ball. As a general rule, when playing 8 ball or 9 ball, and you have a ball hanging in a pocket, try to play close position for it. If you examine this layout in 9 ball, we're on the 3 ball and the 4 ball is in the jaws of the corner pocket. We could play the 3 ball this way, ending up here for the 4 ball, and try to roll it in and send the cue ball back up table for shaping the 5 ball. But at this distance, if we strike a little too much of the 4 ball, or we strike it too thin, it dramatically changes the cue ball path off the end rail. The better option when we play the 3 ball is to send the cue ball off both side rails, landing closer to the 4 ball. Now we can be much more accurate in how much of the 4 ball we're striking, making position on the 5 ball much easier. I ended up a little flat on the 2 ball. If I use maximum high, the cue ball will be sent in this direction. So on this shot, I'm going to use a stun follow shot. Similar to the shot I showed you earlier when playing position for the 8 ball, I'm going to strike just below maximum high with a firm stroke. Now if you shoot this shot with a firm stroke and your cue ball heads in this direction, then try it again but keep the speed the same. Just make sure you strike a little higher on the cue ball. And remember, when we shoot the 3 ball, we need to land in this area for the 4 ball. Here is a run out, and here are the pockets each ball will go into. One of the main benefits of center ball training is developing a feel for where angles will take the cue ball, whether you are using a stun shot or just rolling the cue ball. On this shot, we're going to be using maximum high to send the cue ball off the side rail and toward our target area for the 2 ball. When you try this shot, you'll soon realize that this shot is angle sensitive. The more angle you have on the 1 ball, the farther down table the cue ball will be sent. As the cue ball gets closer to the 1 ball pocket line, now the path starts to head in the proper direction. This is why it's so important to run these patterns 3 times in a row. After completing the final run, you're going to have a much better feel for what angle you're going to need on this 1 ball shot, along with the proper speed. Understanding shots like this 1 ball shot will also benefit other shots that are similar. When we shoot the 2 ball, we need to cross the 3 ball pocket line so we can use a sliding cue ball to send the cue ball to the side rail for shaping the 4 ball. Now when we shoot the 2 ball, we want to create a little distance between the cue ball and side rail. That way it makes pocketing the 3 ball and getting our shape in the 4 ball a little easier. When the object ball is a quarter diamond or less from the cushion, you can play it off the cushion at a soft speed, which allows you to change the cue ball path. In this layout, we're on the 5 ball, we need to end up in this area for shaping the 6 ball. The problem is that we're straight in on the 5 ball. Just like the previous shot, if the object ball is near the side rail, you can cheat the pocket by brushing the object ball along the side rail around here. This creates the angle you'll need to move the cue ball away from the side rail. When you shoot this shot, it's not about power, it's about applying a good smooth stroke to the cue ball, and you won't be cheating the pocket very much. Instead of aiming straight at the cushion here, you'll be changing the aim slightly to here. And it won't take much to send the cue ball away from the side rail. When you practice this shot, first try placing 2 blocker balls here and try to draw around them. Once you become consistent at this, place another blocker ball on the line and try to draw the cue ball around them. Keep adding blocker balls to increase the difficulty. Once you get to around 6 balls, you may have to reduce the speed of the cue ball to move the cue ball around the balls. So on this shot, I'm going to softly play it off the point, which moves the cue ball away from the side rail. On this shot, I'll first examine the sliding cue ball path off the 3 ball, which heads toward this area by the 3rd diamond. This is the type of shot that we spend a lot of time on with students. We need to send the cue ball along the sliding cue ball path, but we're also going to be using a soft speed to hold the cue ball before the 2nd diamond line. If you try the shot and your cue ball is taken off on you, take your speed way down and strike much lower on the cue ball. The softer you need to hit the cue ball when trying to slide the cue ball off the object ball, the lower on the cue ball you'll need to strike. Here is a run out, and here are the pockets each ball will go into. In this first shot, we're going to be using maximum high to send the cue ball to the end rail and toward the 2-ball. This is similar to previous shots where we were sending the cue ball to a target on the side rail. First, find your position area for the cue ball. Then determine what target on the end rail will work to send the cue ball toward this position area. Before shooting the 1-ball, let's examine the 3-ball. The goal in this pattern is to land in this area for the 4-ball. If the cue ball doesn't land in this area for the 4-ball, you have to start the run over. If we end up here in the 3-ball, we can use a soft rolling shot to land in our position area. As the angle starts to flatten, we can no longer softly roll in the 3-ball. Now we have to use a little more speed to control the cue ball's spin up until contact with the 3-ball. At this angle, we're going to have to use a firm stroke, shooting near center. What you'll learn is that having to play position into this area is much easier when you're rolling the 3-ball into the pocket, as opposed to using a stun shot. You can test this out for yourself by setting up this shot and trying to hit these targets along the other side rail. You're going to be using a rolling cue ball along with side spin to control the cue ball's path. Now move the cue ball to this location and try to hit the same targets. You'll notice right away that trying to hit specific targets using a stun shot is very difficult. And the same is true for this shot, where you need to hit these targets on the bottom side rail. First, try it from here using a rolling shot and side spin. Now, flatten the angle and try to hit the same targets. And when you're shooting these shots, try to land within a half diamond of each target. Once you get both shots down, you'll notice much more consistency with a rolling shot. When you're down on the table shooting the 1-ball, if you need to move the cue ball, use your ferrule to fine-tune the angle. Really take your time to make sure you have the correct angle before shooting. Ideally, we would like a little high angle on the 2-ball, so we can send the cue ball off the side rail and back out for our shape on the 3-ball. So I've ended up at an angle where I can roll in the 3-ball, and the cue ball should naturally head toward the position area. Here is a run out, and here are the pockets each ball will go into. In this pattern, the first 3 shots all require stun draw shots. On the first shot, we're going to create an angle in the 1-ball that we can use to send the cue ball to the other end rail, crossing the 2-ball pocket line. We'll then use a stun draw shot to send the cue ball across the 3-ball pocket line. And finally, we're going to use a stun draw shot to send the cue ball a little higher up in the side rail to send the cue ball toward the 4-ball. And when we talk about the stun draw shot, it means we're striking the cue ball above maximum low. Earlier, we talked about the stun follow shot. For instance, in this game of 8-ball, we're on our last solid, but our window for the 8-ball is very tight. And if we use a very soft stroke, the cue ball still rolls past our position area. But if we use a stun follow shot with a firm speed, the cue ball will strike the 4-ball and roll forward a couple inches for position on the 8-ball. You can either shoot the shot with center high with a very firm stroke, or using a little less speed, you can shoot center on the cue ball. And by the time the cue ball gets to the 4-ball, it has a small amount of roll on it, pushing it forward. The stun draw shot is similar. Here we have a shot where we need to draw back a couple inches for position on the 8-ball. You can either shoot this shot with maximum low and a soft speed, or you can use a firm speed and shoot about a tip below center. Now when the cue ball strikes a 4-ball, it has just enough low spin to bring the cue ball back for position on the 8-ball. And in slow motion, you can see that the cue ball really doesn't have much low spin, but it has enough to bring it back for position. The stun draw shot comes up quite often in 8-ball and 9-ball. For instance, in this game of 8-ball, once again we have a small window for the 8-ball. The tangent line will send the cue ball in this direction, but if our speed isn't perfect, we may end up behind the 10-ball. And if we use maximum draw, the cue ball will head in this direction. So on this shot, I'm going to strike the cue ball just below center. The goal in this shot is to make sure the cue ball has a small amount of low spin on it when it strikes the 4-ball. This will change the cue ball path, sending it to the position area. When we play the 1-ball, we're going to give ourselves an angle that's going to help move the cue ball to the other end rail. If you're striking the 1-ball with a firm stroke and it's still not reaching the other end rail, then you need to give yourself a little more angle. If we look at the tangent line, it looks like a sliding cue ball is going to be heading in this direction. So we need enough low spin on the cue ball to pull it back and send it along the correct path. Maximum low definitely won't work since it will pull the cue ball to the side rail. When you shoot this shot, it won't take much low spin to send the cue ball down table into our position area. The goal in this shot is to cross the 3-ball pocket line. On this shot, once again, we're going to be using a stun draw shot to send the cue ball further down the rail so we can send it toward the 4-ball. As with the other stun draw shots we've discussed, these shots are speed sensitive. Both speed and where you strike the cue ball have to be in sync, otherwise the cue ball may be sent along a different path. And when we shoot the 3-ball, the cue ball needs to land in this position area. Here is a runout, and here are the pockets each ball will go into. In this pattern, the key shot is pocketing the 2-ball and landing on this side of the 3-ball pocket line. From here, we can use a stun shot to send the cue ball to the side rail for shaping the 4-ball. Before we shoot the 1-ball, we first need to find where the 2-ball pocket line meets the rail, which is right here. It's important that when you have shots like this where you have to stay on one side of a pocket line, that you first find where the pocket line meets the cushion. This now gives you a visual target that you can use when shooting the object ball. For instance, in this game of 8-ball, I ended up here on the 6-ball. I need to land on the 4-ball pocket line so I can roll forward for shaping the 8-ball. If I end up with any kind of angle on the 4-ball, it's going to be very difficult to play shape for the 8-ball. So I'll first find where the pocket line meets the cushion, and this now becomes my visual target. So before I get down on the table, I'm going to visualize the cue ball path toward this target. Visualizing a cue ball path is extremely important in that the path will tell you not only what speed you need, but how much side spin, if any, is necessary. In this game of 9-ball, I'm on the 2-ball and I need to create a slight angle on the 3-ball for the bottom side pocket, so I can get my position for the 4-ball. So I'll first find where the 3-ball pocket line meets the cushion. Since I don't need much of an angle in the 3-ball, I'll send the cue ball toward this spot on the side rail with a soft speed. So when the cue ball comes off the cushion, it should give me the angle I need to get on the 4-ball. Since maximum high will send the cue ball in this direction, I now know I can strike a little lower in the cue ball to send the cue ball toward my target area. When you shoot the 2-ball, you'll be going 2 rails for position on the 3-ball. The tangent line heads toward the second diamond, so we can use a sliding cue ball when pocketing the 2-ball. The cue ball should travel along this path, putting us on the proper side of the 3-ball pocket line. Now we'll examine the sliding cue ball path off the 3-ball. It looks like it heads here between the first and second diamond. When I shoot the 3-ball, I'm going to use it to touch a low spin, which will send the cue ball a little higher up on the side rail. And when we shoot the 3-ball, we need to land in this area here for shaping the 4-ball. Here is a runout, and here are the pockets each ball will go into. In this pattern, the key shot is pocketing the 1-ball and landing on the right side of the 2-ball pocket line. If we examine the tangent line of the 1-ball, a sliding cue ball will be sent toward the corner pocket. So if the cue ball is rolling when it strikes the 1-ball, it will be sent toward the side rail. This is why it's so important to not only see the tangent lines of object balls, but also know how to strike the cue ball to alter the cue ball's path. When working with students, they will sometimes choose this way of getting on the 2-ball. While this way will work, it's a bit of a blind shot in that you can't see your cue ball target in your line of sight. This shot also takes more speed to move the cue ball off the end rail and over to the other end rail. On this shot, you can not only see your cue ball path in your line of sight while down on the table, but at the proper angle, it doesn't require much of a stroke to land in the position area. So we've ended up here in the 2-ball. The ideal angle would have been here, which would have allowed us to roll in the 2-ball for our position on the 3-ball. Since it would have been a rolling shot, it would have been a lot easier to control our speed. On this shot, we'll first figure out where the cue ball will go if we strike at maximum high. And it looks like a maximum high shot will travel in this direction toward the side pocket. So if we choose this path, our speed would have to be extremely precise. But we can widen this angle by using a stun follow shot. So we'll be using a firm stroke and striking the cue ball just below maximum high. Now the cue ball will strike further down the rail, which increases our position window on the 3-ball. And when we play the 3-ball, the cue ball has to come off the side rail and land in this area here. So let's first examine the 3-ball tangent line. A sliding cue ball heads in this direction toward the side rail, which means it should end up in our position area for the 4-ball. So when I shoot the 3-ball, I'm going to make sure the cue ball is sliding when it strikes the 3-ball, and I should end up in my position area. Here is a run out, and here are the pockets each ball will go into. In this drill, the goal is to use the side rails to play position for each ball. If we can end up around here for the 2-ball, we'll have a nice rolling angle to send the cue ball off the bottom side rail for shaping the 3-ball. If we end up around here on the 2-ball, we can no longer softly roll in the 2-ball and send the cue ball to our position area for the 3-ball. So we'll first determine where maximum high will take the cue ball off the 2-ball. At this angle, maximum high is going to take the cue ball on this path toward the side pocket. So this path will work as long as we control the speed. We can alter the path slightly by striking just below maximum high with a firm stroke. When we play shape for the 3-ball, if we end up short of the 3-ball pocket line, we'll have to start the run over. As I mentioned in a previous pattern, when we shoot shots like this 1-ball, we're going to play it off the cushion so we can track toward the 2-ball at the correct angle. This is a much better option than just trying to roll into our position area, where we wouldn't have our position until the very end of the cue ball path. When we shoot the 2-ball, we need to be aware of the 3-ball pocket line, since we need to make sure we cross it with the cue ball. When performing stun shots where we're sending a cue ball off a cushion, like in this 3-ball shot, the angle toward the cushion will be similar to the angle leaving the cushion. So if we send the cue ball toward the 3rd diamond, it should track this way off the cushion, which should work for position on the 4-ball. And when we play the 3-ball, the cue ball has to come off the side rail and land in this area here. Here is a run out, and here are the pockets each ball will go into. The key to this run out is landing on the left side of the 3-ball pocket line. From here we can use a rolling cue ball to send the cue ball off the end rail for shaping the 4-ball. On this 1-ball shot, we need to create an angle that is going to help move the cue ball to the bottom side rail for shape on the 2-ball. This is a common shot that you'll see strong players perform, but it's a shot that many players are uncomfortable with due to the backward cut shot. Once you get this shot down, however, it doesn't take much of a stroke to move the cue ball across the table. When players first try this shot, they tend to flatten the angle in the 1-ball, which requires more speed to move the cue ball over to the position area. The key to this shot is creating an angle where the shot is still easy, but the angle is helping move the cue ball over to the side rail. If you're shooting this shot and your speed seems correct, but the cue ball is tracking this way, then keep the speed the same and start aiming a little lower on the cue ball. Once you get the hang of the shot, you'll be able to make it over and over again while controlling the path of the cue ball. The goal is to land on or just above the 2-ball pocket line. Before shooting the 2-ball, we need to visualize the 3-ball pocket line. The ideal angle is around here on the 3-ball. From here we can use a rolling cue ball to send the cue ball off the end rail and back up for shaping the 4-ball. If we end up closer to the 3-ball pocket line, then we'll have to use a stun shot. So if we examine the tangent line of the 3-ball, we can see that a sliding cue ball will head to the side rail by the first diamond. If the cue ball has a small amount of low spin on it when it strikes the 3-ball, the cue ball will be sent higher up on the side rail. When shooting the 3-ball, we need to land the cue ball into this area. Here is a runout, and here are the pockets each ball will go into. In this pattern, the key shot is creating an angle in the 3-ball that will take the cue ball to this position area for the 4-ball. Since we know where we need to be for the 3-ball, an angle like this on the 2-ball will work for sending the cue ball toward this target area. If we look at the 1-ball, we can see that if we can hold this line toward the 2-ball, we should end up with the correct angle. Playing shape this way means we don't need to have precise speed control, since we'll be traveling toward the 2-ball at the correct angle. When we play position for the 3-ball, we have to be careful in that we don't create too much angle since we're not using side spin. If we end up with too much angle in the 3-ball, the cue ball will be sent toward the 4-ball, making the shot on the 4-ball more difficult. What we're looking for when playing shape for the 3-ball is a natural angle where a rolling cue ball will be sent in the proper direction. Now if we end up too flat on the 3-ball, we can no longer use a soft rolling shot to get our position for the 4-ball. At this angle, we'll have to use a firm stroke shooting center or just above center, which should send the cue ball along the correct path. And when we shoot the 3-ball, the cue ball can't go off the side rail, and it has to at least cross the half table line. Here is a runout, and here are the pockets each ball will go into. The key to this runout is landing above the 3-ball pocket line so we can send the cue ball 3 rails for shaping the 4-ball. When we play the 1-ball, we're going to send the cue ball off the in rail and side rail and toward the other half of the table, creating a high angle on the 2-ball. Shooting the 1-ball is all about speed control. Since we're not using side spin, ending up with too much angle in the 2-ball is going to make it much harder to cross the 3-ball pocket line. And when we shoot the 2-ball, we're not allowed to go off the other end rail. If you shoot this shot and your cue ball is tracking this way, you may need to give yourself a little more angle on the 1-ball. And remember, it's important that you use maximum high. The cue ball has to drive off the end rail and toward the side rail. And what you're going to learn when playing this pattern is that the closer you end up to the 2-ball pocket line, the less low spin you're going to need to use. If you end up a cue ball C, you'll need maximum low to pull the cue ball back across the 3-ball pocket line. The goal when shooting the 3-ball is to land in this area above the 4-ball pocket line. If I shoot the 3-ball with center high, the cue ball will strike too high on the other side rail, sending the cue ball in this direction. It's important that when I shoot this shot, the cue ball has low spin on it when it strikes the 3-ball, so it hits the end rail a little further down, which should send it toward the position area. Here is a runout, and here are the pockets each ball will go into. The key shot here is pocketing the 1-ball and landing across the 2-ball pocket line. This type of shot requires 3 different skills. The ability to strike maximum high, knowing what angle on the 1-ball will take the cue ball to our target on the end rail, and the third skill is having the correct speed control. If we end up straight in on the 2-ball, we can draw back off the side rail for shaping the 3-ball. If we land on this side of the 2-ball pocket line, we'll have to start the run over. So we need to land around here for the 3 ball, since we need to pocket the 3 and land on the left side of the 4 ball pocket line. And when we shoot the 4 ball, we need to land the cue ball in this area. If we land outside of this area, then we have to start the run over. If we examine the sliding cue ball path off the 4 ball, we can see that it heads in the right direction. So it's just a matter of using proper speed. Here is a run out, and here are the pockets each ball will go into. The key to this run out is landing in this area for the 3 ball, which will allow us to stun the cue ball off both side rails. When we play the 1 ball, we're going to be sending the cue ball toward the 2 ball at the correct angle, which opens up our position window. Whenever possible, you want to send the cue ball toward the next ball at the correct angle, since this really opens up the position window. So you wouldn't pocket the 1 ball and track this way for position, since the angle is changing for the 2 ball. You also wouldn't pocket the 1 ball and shoot the 2 ball from this distance. One thing you'll find out is that stun shots are speed sensitive. For example, it's much easier to stop the cue ball from this distance than from this distance. If you know your next ball is going to require a stun shot, keep in mind the distance between the object ball and cue ball. The farther away the cue ball is from the object ball, the harder it is to control the exact speed and path of the cue ball. Before shooting the 2 ball, really lock in on where you would like the cue ball to end up for the 3 ball. The flatter the angle, the less low spin you'll need to use, and the harder you'll need to strike the cue ball. The more angle you have, the more low spin you'll need to use. The reason I have students perform patterns like this 3 times in a row is because they will undoubtedly end up at various angles on the 3 ball, which will really test their ability to stun the cue ball. When you play this pattern, you need to send the cue ball into this area for shaping the 4 ball, or you have to start the run over. Here is a run out, and here are the pockets each ball will go into. The key shot here is creating a rolling angle in the 2 ball that we can use to send the cue ball straight toward the 3 ball. Many players would travel this way with the cue ball, but this may create a flat angle, requiring more work to get on the 3 ball. Before shooting the 1 ball, be real specific about where the cue ball needs to land for the 2 ball. So we've ended up at a nice angle that will allow us to roll in the 2 ball and send the cue ball toward the 3 ball. Center ball training is all about learning how the cue ball moves off object balls and cushions without side spin. With enough training, a player will know right away that a rolling cue ball at this angle will give them shape on the 3 ball. A player who hasn't had the same training may think that the cue ball needs left or right spin to send the cue ball toward the 3 ball and be left with a difficult shot. On this shot, the cue ball needs to cross the 2nd diamond line, otherwise you have to start the run over. When shooting the 3 ball, the cue ball needs to cross the 3rd diamond line. Here is a run out, and here are the pockets each ball will go into. As you play each pattern, before shooting the 1 ball, try to visualize the position area for the 3 ball. By doing this, it's going to give you a better idea of where you need to be for the 2 ball. For instance, I'm going to need an angle on the 3 ball to get on the 4 ball. So if I can end up around here on the 3 ball, this angle should work for getting on the 4 ball. Now that I know where I need to be for the 3 ball, I now know that I need an angle around here for the 2 ball, so I can roll it in and get my angle on the 3 ball. When I play the 1 ball, I'm going to give myself an angle that will help move the cue ball toward my position area. It's important that whenever you play position in pool, that you try to give yourself angles that will help move the cue ball to your next position area. And when I work with students, they tend to give themselves flat angles, like this, which means they can no longer softly roll in the 1 ball and get their position on the 2 ball. Now they have to use a lot more stroke to move the cue ball to the other side of the table for shape on the 2 ball. And remember, we're not using side spin, so ending up too short of your position area may make it too difficult to hold the cue ball for the 3 ball. Before shooting the 2 ball, I'm going to find my target area for the cue ball. I then need to make sure this target area is going to work with the angle I have on the 2 ball. For example, recently one of my students had a situation like this, where they had a little cut angle in the 3 ball for the side pocket. I asked them to place a target for where they would like to end up for the 4 ball. They chose a target by the first diamond, but the problem is they didn't have the proper angle in the 3 ball to get to this target area. The only way they can land on this area with the cue ball is if they overcut the 3 ball at a soft speed, which is exactly what happened when the student tried the shot. They were so fixated on landing in their target area that they didn't stop to realize that they didn't have the proper angle to send the cue ball to this target. The better target area is higher up on the side rail where he doesn't have to fight the cue ball. The angle would naturally take the cue ball to this spot. When playing the 3 ball, you have to at least cross the 3rd diamond line, or you have to start the run over. Something to remember when shooting the final ball in 8 ball, 9 ball, or whatever game is being played, is to select the speed of the shot before getting down on the table. Many of my students tend to quickly get down on the final ball before they mentally select what speed they're going to be using. Then when they're down on the table, they have to quickly figure out the speed, and it may not be in sync with their backstroke length. Here is a run out, and here are the pockets each ball will go into. The key shot here is creating an angle on the 3 ball to send the cue ball to the bottom side rail for shaping the 4 ball. When we shoot the 1 ball, we need to create a flat angle on the 2 ball, so we can pocket the 2 ball and keep the cue ball to the left side of the 3 ball pocket line. If we end up with too much angle in the 2 ball, it will be too difficult to hold the cue ball for the left side of the 3 ball pocket line. Try to find your angle before shooting the 1 ball. Pick a target on the side rail to send the cue ball toward. So on this shot I'll be using maximum high to send the cue ball to the side rail. And whenever you send the cue ball to a rail, always have a specific target in mind before shooting. Before shooting the 2 ball, visualize the 3 ball pocket line and pick a target on the left side of this line for the cue ball to land in. Since we'll most likely be using a stun shot on the 3 ball, we need to be aware of how far the cue ball is from the pocket line. Ending up too close to the pocket line means we'll have to use a very firm stroke to move the cue ball to our position area for the 4 ball. Ending up around here would be ideal, since now this angle is helping to move the cue ball to our target area. On this shot, if we softly roll in the 2 ball, the cue ball will be sent in this direction, landing too close to the 3 ball pocket line. So when we shoot the 2 ball, we need to use a soft stun shot, sending it along this path. To do this, I'm going to be striking softly with low spin. When playing position, it's always a good idea to first examine where a sliding cue ball will go, then make any necessary adjustments. On this shot, the sliding cue ball will head toward the 3rd diamond. So if the cue ball has a small amount of roll on it when it strikes the 3 ball, then it should hit further down the rail. On this shot, you have to land the cue ball in this area, otherwise you have to start the run over.